everybody, to episode 7 of season 4 of Chase the Bracelet.
Going to get things underway here in Game 7. Substitute today, we're going to have Rudy playing for Corey. I believe Rudy was in the studio last week, Paul.
Yes, he was.
So we get a little bit of both of them this time.
175.
Marco raises to 175.
Marco raises with King 9 offsuit.
I'm not. You're being a rebel. Why do you say that? Huh?
It's kind of...
Rudy calls.
I would say it's kind of a shocker, but it's nothing that we haven't seen on Marco before.
What? I thought we were playing for the bracelet. Everything else is just...
Sudan calls.
Oh, keep it up, Marco. Exactly.
3 players. Sudan acts first.
No, I did. Next player. That's not funny.
And Marco flops 2 pair.
300 bet by Marco.
I think the downside is Corey and Suited Dan both have ace queen, so they really don't have anything they can call with you.
Yeah, didn't you know the stacks are more 450? Oh, I saw that hand. Hold on. I did. You did? No.
Rudy folded.
Didn't make him.
It's magic. I know.
Were you drinking?
No, I was not.
It's hard to tell.
Suited Dan folds.
He lets it go.
I think you're being the raise.
Why am I talking?
Just saying.
That's not an issue.
Yeah, I think.
What?
Button moves.
You're not following.
Ed Wurgler to act first.
First of all,
See, Bobby's still being very violent with the chips today.
Rule number 2, just don't worry about it. See Paul in his office.
Before
I told him, hey, you know what? Whoever wins tonight can collect it from me. I'm not dealing.
Well, you know he's going to be out before he has to.
Exactly. All I have to do is tip the dealer. That's the only. Oh, that is. Exactly.
Do you really believe that?
Actions on it.
I was playing for the break.
Do you really believe
Looks
that?
like Marco's off to a pretty good start today.
Let's see what he does with the King Jack suited here.
I know 5 people that want to end this game
Hot.
as soon as possible.
Marco calls.
Just calls with the King Jack suited.
Better stop loving the ball.
Suited calls.
He's in very early position.
You're playing for points, Marcus. If you win, you don't collect them.
Exactly. No points.
Marco flops second pair and a nut flush draw. Suited Dan flops top pair. This could get interesting.
Dan bets 200. Marco calls.
200.
800. Raised to 8.
Marco's snap raising there.
Raised to 800 by Marco with a 200 bet out there by Suited Dan.
I don't see Dan letting this go.
Dan
Not
calls.
to Marco.
1200.
See if Dan can make the right call.
Dan checked. Marco bet 1200.
Very suspicious. I think Dan will make the call. I really do.
I think the downside of this hand is he checked it to give the aggression away to Marco.
Sudan calls.
I think he did it for pot control.
King for the jack.
He didn't want the pot to get too big where he'd have to fold.
Good hand.
Suited takes it down.
Pull out all those clubs.
Button moves. Marco to act first.
I think I'm going out on a limb here. I'm going to make a prediction that Marco either goes out really fast or builds up a huge stack tonight.
I think that's the prediction we get every week. Ed with an ace queen there.
Rob with an ace 9. He folds that. The hand he usually likes to play early.
Heads up.
Bobby raises to 125.
Bobby raises with the 10-7 off, and Ed with the ace queen suited.
Ed raises to 350.
And Ed re-raises, and Bobby releases immediately. And shakes his head in disgust.
I saw Ron.
Not a lot you can do with the 10-7, obviously.
Nah.
And Ron was going out to smoke. goes, I got up early. Came in about 6:30. Bobby was ending his session.
Yeah, he said he got seated at my table at like 6:30 in the morning. I was sitting there. I was like,
That's Ryan.
Yeah.
Rudy to act first. Rudy playing for
"Hey,
quarter.
you got there early."
He got there Saturday morning like 6:30, and that's when Bobby was leaving.
He was like, I couldn't sleep. I was like, neither could I.
And then we hung out till about 1.
Rudy with
Saturday
the
morning?
King 10 off raises a little
25.
bit.
225 raised by Rudy.
Bobby's got the button with pocket fours.
Yeah, I did.
Did he?
Yeah, he was up when he left.
Let's
He
it
said he
go.
was like
That should take it down.
Did you play poker?
He does have Marco behind him.
All day. I took some heat from blackjack.
Robert to act first.
So I was like, alright, I'm just gonna go back to poker. And so I went Saturday for like a 10-hour session and just played poker.
Rudy not starting off near as tight as the last time he subbed for
Saturday
quarter.
there was usually tables like the
I think after playing with these guys once and watching them, they're a little more familiar with them, willing to loosen it up.
Yeah, I wish I could find out what that.
There's juice in the tub.
That full $6 raises?
No, never. I've never seen it.
Tony, do we have a bright light shining behind Train? Is that why everybody on the other side of the table is wearing sunglasses?
I make it 17 for Bob.
It may be. It's just his bright
My
personality.
ending, I don't know what it is. But I'll be playing tight. It doesn't matter.
Looks like Ed raised to 125. Marco called.
I'm always bluffing.
Marco
And then you
calls
sit down at the poker
Jack
table.
8.
Yeah, exactly.
Marco's not afraid to play a lot of games.
These guys came a few years back.
Marco checks.
Ed flops bottom pair. Let's see if he bets it.
200 bet by Ed. And a call by
Marco
Marco.
calls.
They must have had a total of money because they were out of the tournament in like 10 hands.
Both players check.
Ed, not sure what Marco's doing.
And there's a straight on the board.
Marco checks.
Chop it up.
No raising, $15.
Marco calling there, hoping to hit the runner chop, I think.
They lost.
Must be the purple shirt.
Paul Moskowitz to act first.
Another guy won almost $500 or almost $600.
See it? We went straight on the board.
She won over $100.
Max, I was straight. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to tell him I had a straight too.
Like, we'll pay your tolls, we'll give you gas.
Right.
You guys just come back. Horrible.
That's how most of the players of the show are. $15
Rudy with a Jack King suited here.
150 now.
Mark raises to 150.
Mark's got the 9-10 suited.
Tony.
Oh my God, no kidding. Those guys were fantastic. They were just throwing money away.
Oh.
Everybody get your chips back.
Yeah. Restart.
We got about an extra 5 minutes.
Was that 5 minutes?
A little longer, probably.
When that gets down to 5 minutes, we'll.
Been in for about 8 minutes, 9 minutes now.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, it's 11 and 12 hours.
Did Marco re-raise there?
Yes, made it 600.
Marco re-raises with the 10-6.
And takes down.
Like 7 minutes left.
Marco playing all kinds of hands today.
I gotta make up all this shit I donked off the band.
Well,
Definitely got to give him some
Marco
credit.
said he's trying to make up the chips he donked off earlier. You keep playing hands like that, you're just going to donk off most of the time.
I can't always figure him for an ace. Rag.
The only thing better would have been if you had like King 3.
It's not like we Rob playing ace rag all the time.
Mark,
Pocket queens.
Rudy with pocket 9s.
150.
That's why I don't like
Mark raises to 150.
like queen rag.
See if Marco tries to pull another one here with King 4 now.
Calls 150.
Rudy calls 150.
Rudy calls a button with
That's up.
9s.
Queen rag. Good.
Oh.
Never mind.
Just hit me.
Just hit you? Just hit you?
Just hit the table. I'm
just laughing at him. It's like, it just
Yeah, I'm him.
What's it? The queen's rag?
150.
Mark bets 150.
Just let her. 600.
Rudy raises to 600.
Rudy
Corey
repping
don't
the
play
King
with
here,
calls.
but Mark's
Mark
not
calls.
believing.
Sorry, played more hands than Corey does.
Reverse implied odds.
Check.
Only 2 outs.
Both players check.
Check, check. Let's see if Mark represents a king.
What was that rule about? Check.
Mark checks.
You couldn't have more than 2 sets.
Rudy shows pocket nines.
That's what I thought Queen was.
Wow.
So it's tough one.
See,
Pyramid.
First act is Max.
I thought it could
I think Mark might have missed a bet there on the river.
I'm still momentum.
When Rudy checks the turn, I don't think he absolutely doesn't have king.
I tried to watch Game 6. Game 6 is
Blinds are 25-50.
Hey, Tony, Game 6 will not close.
Marco with another big hand.
It's on YouTube and Ustream.
Mark with king jack suited.
I did.
Bobby with 2.
I watched the mini-sode for Game 5.
Bobby first acted with him though. He's probably
Bobby raises to 125. Raised to 600 by Marco.
there's a shocker.
Mark and Bobby both let
Bobby!
them go.
Miller.
You know I have nothing.
Doesn't matter. I pulled it there to you. It doesn't even matter. It's too early for all that mess. 6
Oh, fine.
Marco learning how easy it is to take pots with big bets.
What's that?
Nothing.
Yeah, when you run into the big one.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much is what it said.
Are those your
Suited Dan back
cover
first.
girl classes there?
We already had
You were here, but you missed it.
You missed out just like you.
175.
Suited raises to 175.
Yeah, Paul Moskowitz, ace 10 of diamonds. I'd like to see what he does here.
Fold.
I'm gonna start doing that.
Rudy
Rudy calls
Dan
175.
made the raise, so it's very possible he might.
Moskowitz calls 175.
But still.
Last act is Max.
Rudy's got 8-9 suited
Max calls.
Max protecting the big blind.
with the jack deuce.
Ooh, sorry, Paul.
And Paul flops the diamond flush draw, and suited Dan flops top pair, top kicker.
600.
This could get interesting.
600
Yeah,
bet by Suited
Paul
Dan.
won't go crazy on a flush draw. He'll call.
Paul calls.
Even the nut flush draw.
You could
Raised to
raise-
1200
you
by
could have
Suited
raised him,
Dan.
However, he's really raising just that draw,
Yeah.
and with no pair, it's a lot harder to do.
An ace on the river would just be brutal.
Let me think about my draw.
Dan singing about Paul's draw.
When I lose, I'm going to crawl.
Well, you have to unbutton from the front.
I have a tissue while I ball.
Fox. Oh,
Call 1200 by Paul Moskowitz.
Check.
And
And
Paul
Dan
gets there.
sings his way into catastrophe here.
Suited Dan checks.
15.
1500 bet by Paul Moskowitz.
Show the bluff. Let's go for again. Go bluff.
Suited Dan folds.
there's no bluff. The bluff holding folded.
And Dan definitely scared that Paul had the flush.
What a catch.
The last time Paul put money in on a draw was like 19 years ago.
Fine,
Right, Rob?
Bobby B million to act first.
Look how long it took him to call the one bet. You know, obviously he's gonna draw.
Or maybe he's thinking like a lot of
Rudy
players.
with jacks. Bobby with sixes. Paul with ace
I
king.
mean, I don't know. Maybe.
And Marco with 7s.
125 now.
Raised to 125 by Bobby Miller.
That's right, I'll queen
Marco
six
calls.
later and he'll
Marco calls with 7 deuce.
I love the
But it
fight
is
Marco
suited.
today.
Raise the 500.
Raised to 500 by Rudy.
Rudy with jacks.
Calls.
Moskowitz calls 500.
500.
500, sir.
Max.
Where's the 500?
Down there.
There's actually 2 people that have 500 already.
Dan blocked him.
Good save.
Suited folds.
125.
Let's see what.
Calls.
B
That was
million
the
calls.
original razor, so at this point that 7 deuce is just priced in. Poor guy.
Marco calls.
4 pairs.
And Rudy flops trip jacks.
Rudy flops pretty much all he needs to.
700.
Raised to
And he
700 by
leads
Rudy.
out. Interesting.
Moskowitz folds.
Now Bobby may suspect something here.
Did you just fart? No, in the chair.
Well,
Good fold.
Bobby folds. Marco's still in.
Pass out. Hey, you've been up to
What does Marco do here? Does he call or raise?
Loses a lot of chips.
raise to 16.
Raised to 1600 by Marco. Rudy all in.
28.
They don't want you. I know.
I think what Rudy doesn't realize is he could have made a
Oh,
lot more money.
yeah. He just calls there and he wins a huge pot probably because Marco's going to fire again on the turn.
He snap raises all in, so he definitely represents a jack.
Looks like 2800 for Marco to call.
Marco's going to Hollywood here for a few minutes, acting like he's actually got something, and then he'll fold. I don't think he wants anybody to realize the crap hands he's been playing.
He really has. The worst.
So there's a rebuy, Marco. It's
Paul's gonna blow that main. What? Paul's gonna blow that main.
No, I'm good.
Marco folds.
What are you holding on to? You're free rolling.
Nice pop, dude. Button running.
Thank you.
And Rudy takes down a nice pot.
It's a free roll. What are you doing? Just jamming.
First act is Ed Wergler.
He's playing on his Obama.
I wish I tried that one.
This right?
yeah.
It just goes to show you that calling raises and re-raises with 7 deuce is
Doesn't
usually,
always seem that profitable.
yeah, it's usually not a very profitable move.
My sword.
Suited Dan with 5s. Max with an ace. Mark with an ace rag.
Just got my butt.
That's the largest thing yet.
Mark raises to 150.
I'm like,
Max just wanting to play a lot of different hands
Oh.
tonight.
Max
too.
calls 150. Suited Dan calls 150.
3 players.
Bobby folded.
check. Sorry, I didn't hear.
Dan in the lead with his
Earlier, you were
fives.
having problems with your hearing.
Earlier today, we've been here for 10 minutes. Are you done? making
Nobody
the full
bets
yet?
here.
No, not yet. Absolutely not yet. Check.
Suited Dan checks.
Max with a nut
It's on
flush
you,
draw.
Must not have heard me again.
Max bets 225.
Should take it down.
7, right?
Folds around.
Couple rows.
Marco to act first.
Come on, you guys. You're the only person in the room I like.
I don't know. I may have just lost respect for you.
All of it. Out the window.
Thank you.
There you go.
And it was very nice of you when you bought me those sunglasses that you got me.
I found him in my grandma's dresser. Help me out here, Paul. Never mind, we're good.
Let's see who bets here.
I think Marco's licking his wounds right now.
He's all
Scared me. It's a monster.
Everyone.
We're gonna be on the first day. It scared me.
one gapper.
Dude, you're one guy. Yeah, that's a monster. Getting up there.
Rudy Dak first.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's like the lamest side of ever. Because I mean,
How often do you get paired?
yeah.
On which game?
Well, that's because they want to make more money because everybody's, 10 plus. They're going to make $5 each time.
Right.
But I would play if they did something like an in-between. or
All those
something.
ads are
between was
totally
cool.
favoring them.
In-between is nice. That's my
I
favorite.
don't know. I don't say it's like
Every game against Tina was like a huge house favorite. But now it's, yeah, pair plus. And I'm watching people dump $5 on every hand.
Yeah.
Mark with ace queen, suited Dan with aces. Sure, we're gonna get a decent sized pot.
10 to 1 on regular pairs, 15 to 1 on suited pairs.
See what Dan thinks about his hand when he finally takes it.
175.
Mark raises to 175.
They, I don't know what the heck. Yeah, well, we won 10 grand on the bet. It's like that's what.
So it's 10 to 1 if they're a suited pair?
A suited pair.
Re-raise, 425.
Suited raises to 425.
Yeah.
Dan drops completely out of the conversation he was having to play this hand.
And the thing about Dan is he'll call a lot of raises with a lot of
But it's
different
25
hands,
max.
I missed.
but he doesn't
But
re-raise.
it's
10 to 1 on suited pair?
No, 15 to 1 on the suited pair.
no wild cards or something.
Mark calls the 425.
I thought I had it. 'Cause I had 10 jack queen.
If
king,
Mark
ace.
flops queen high or in case ace hits here, it could be
I
trouble.
still want to have the decent hand.
Yeah.
Action on Mark. Mark checks.
And I had a flush, so I got, I paid for that.
Right.
800 bet by suited Dan.
The Royal would have been 25. Yeah.
Let this go.
Shows the ace queen, thinking it's the best hand.
That's all.
Yeah.
Dan did show the aces.
One pair of ones. Pair of ones. You only had two.
Action on Rob
Double
Newman.
down, split them. Split them. One card each. I got my pair bet too.
Can you split and double down?
No. Because we split 18 on one card.
Oh, you get one each?
Yeah, you just get one.
What if you get another 8?
You split.
No.
Not
Not a clean
with an 8?
Oh, I
You can't
not
not a clean
clean. They don't let you split this up.
What? You get one card each.
Marco with king jack.
Wait, you split one card each?
Max with eights.
Or you split aces.
Max
So if you split 10, you get 4 people pissed off at you.
Max raises to 150.
I did that.
Blackjack
years
But you
ago.
can take as many cards as you want.
Years ago when I was.
This is a hand Marco's re-raised several times tonight
It's a
already.
little five.
Calls to 150.
Marco's
Ed
playing
calls.
a very interesting.
Calls to 150.
Marco
Fold
calls.
7 deuce.
So I said, well,
Not even raised with, you know.
dude, she's an oxygen and everything else. And I
There's a re-raise
Free
for
player.
10-6.
hope you get cancer and die. Baby, you're there. I mean, you're just on life support.
You talking to the whole internet?
Like I was stuck.
Max raises
And, like,
225.
everybody still won, but I was like,
Max betting the best hand.
he's all, I thought you old biddies took your bingo seriously.
That's what you get when you sit at $5.
Ed and Marco fold.
And split 10s.
It was
I got $5 out here. You're playing with my money.
no, I was like $10.
Paul Moscow stack first.
Hey, $10 when I was 23. That was about half my paycheck.
Or the biggest one?
You got paid bi-weekly?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm in the last seat, and the guy in the first seat has $1,000 on the one hand. It's like a $15 minimum table. And as I get my cards, I'm just praying for like a blackjack or something that I don't have.
Mark with ace king.
Or make a decision on.
Ed with king. So
So,
Mark's running big
of course,
hands
they
into
mark that
really
way.
big hands so
You tell
far
me.
early tonight.
You want me to hit? I'll hit. You want me to? Whatever you say, that's what I'm doing. Because him and his buddies, they were all drinking. They were probably 250 pounds Cowboys from Wyoming.
Mark raises to
Whatever you
175.
say, sir.
Why are you staring down guys and guessing their weight?
Not me. I wouldn't have said it. I would have been trying to make them mad.
You sure you want to take a hit? You have 20.
6 straight now.
Raised to 600 by Ed Wurgler.
There was a death sentence there.
Ed with the rear raise.
You're in the casino. You got it.
Really big re-raise, too.
Mark Holt.
Well, so far it's been flying out, guys. Mark lets the ace queen go from that throw.
I don't want to make it look like everybody's picking on you. Listen here, Tex. I sized you up. You're about 250 in my eyes.
Next hand, Paul. Next hand, up.
Dan Lazare was playing. He was playing Poland, but he.
Don't play it.
When Dave talks a little bit, and
We
he
just
got
did.
into it because he kept calling this guy's hands out.
Table's not reset. Table's not set.
Okay. Can, wait, stop. Yeah, run back.
And I'm asking to play Mike. So
Thank you.
it gets heated, more and more heated. And finally, this guy makes a threat, and Tom says, let's go on the party. And he says, we don't have to go anywhere. Let's go right here.
Where's it?
This dude stands up, and he's gonna kill. Dave's gonna probably get in one good punch, and then this guy's gonna kill him. A guy from Dave's table.
I clean out my list, and I only want to attempt
this guy
on
down.
my list. So you were like, this trainer guy, he's got to go. And then I'm gonna smile in his face.
Max with queens.
I feel like you did now. Like, I'm hurt.
Nobody with much else.
It's like you don't want to be their friend at all. Wow. It's like, I don't even want to
Raised to 150
see your
by
life at
Max.
all. I don't want to see your name, your face. It's on you, Ed. I don't feel bad. That's okay.
But we're still friends. You can. How are we friends?
That should take it down.
I didn't. It was a joke. Relax. Wow, you're so stressed.
I haven't put it everybody.
Robert calls.
Rob will protect.
Rob calls with the ace-3.
Bobby deletes his Facebook 3 times.
Gotta love his small blind.
It's like when I change underwear 3 times a month.
Small blind with an ace is definitely the hand to play.
Action on Robert first. Robert checks.
No. They're pretty loud.
225 bet by Max takes it down.
Thank you, sir.
Ta-da! 5,900.
I don't think I won this one. Actually, I just sit next to my
Well, I randomly assigned seats. Just randomly getting lucky.
I tapped in. I went to Radio Shack.
You notice I
tapped
asked
into
Ed
a
and I
frequency and I got an earbud.
That'd be awesome.
That'll tell me the truth. He's like, no, I can't hear nothing. What's that? Both got aces.
So starts answering.
Yeah, right.
And then you're like, he's got the check mark. Oh, great.
Max to act first.
Mark with king 10 suited in the big blind.
Look how calm and relaxed Bobby looks right now.
See how Marco plays 7 deuce.
He's not worried at all.
See how he plays the 7 deuce again, huh?
It's 100, yeah, right?
That's how I raised you. That's the first thing.
100?
Yep. 50-100.
Raise to 250, guys.
No, you
Ed
roll.
raises to 250.
No.
Marco not playing the suited 7 deuce this time.
You try to.
It's like he came out strong and kind of lost.
Call by Mark.
Well, that's what happens a lot when you bluff off all your chips.
Yeah, I remember.
And Ed raises with the worst hand and spikes top pair.
Mark checks. Ed bets 375.
Little piece of your bud.
Marco won't even hardly hesitate to fold that.
But moves to Paul Moskowitz. Max to act first. Actually, suited Dan to act first.
Big Max.
I hate being short stack early.
Big Max.
I only have 5100.
Rudy with pocket 2s. Paul with ace jack. Max with jack queen.
You can. Or I can help you.
Marco with king 5.
This early in the tournament with a lot of small bets and small raises. I like Rudy's position with pocket 2.
Oh, I do too. You can spike a set here, you can win a huge pot, especially if an ace
Marco,
hits.
Paul, Mark, and Max in.
played 2 diamonds.
There's the ace
5
minus the
players.
deuce.
Queen 6. Queen 6 and diamonds.
Let's see. Mark's got ace 6. Paul's
250 bet.
Mark bets. What's the bet?
250.
Mark bets 250. Call by Max. Marco
Max
folds,
calls
Rudy
with
folds.
the gut shot draw. Normally not a very
3
good,
players.
Paul calls.
not a very good play usually. Oh, and
Mark turns
Mark's-
2 pair on Paul.
Yeah.
Wow. Max still with the gut shot, 4 out.
800 now.
Raised to 800 by Mark. Max fold.
Paul stroking his chips and lets it go. Great laydown by Paul Moskowitz. Definitely hard to lay down ace jack there.
Straddling a lot. 25 to go, guys.
Bobby to act first.
Rob with ace 8 is the best hand here.
Suited Dan with a very, very playable jack 9 suited. Out of the big blind as well.
Mark calls.
Hey, run.
Max calls. Suited checks his option.
Suited with top pair, Max with a flush draw. I think we'll see a decent sized pot here.
275.
Max
Calls.
bets 275. Suited Dan calls 275.
Suited doesn't like to fold second pair, let alone top pair.
Mark folds.
And with the heart though, it's very,
Check.
very bad.
Both
news
players
for
check.
Dan. I think Max kind of masked his flush there
Yes,
with
he
only
did.
a 4.
Leading out and then checking when it hits.
600.
600 bet by
You
Max.
might get paid off here. No.
Suited
Dan
folds.
lets it go. I thought he might get paid off. He played it very well.
Well, I think maybe he was scared that his 4 high wasn't very good.
I was 2 pair at the end.
Ed to act first.
I had to tell you 7 on the river. You jack 7. What jack?
Suited Dan has that hand totally
Suited
wrong.
Dan trying to talk him into telling what he had.
Saved on a hard drive.
Always good to get free information.
Watch the digital
You still have a Walkman?
video on
You just have a Walkman?
Rob with ace king
rewind it,
and
no,
not a whole lot else going on here. He should raise and take it, I think.
We'll pull out the card
Raised to 325 by Rod Newman.
and a laser point. 325.
Marco to act first.
Keeping up with Paul. I started playing with our Costa Rican friends again too. And racked up about 80.
No, you're not.
Yeah. About it. No, I found him on Legends.
It's a Marco blind.
Marco blind, right?
I put a
What?
No, it's half.
I put 100 in and I don't know, like 25 or something like that.
Rob with king queen, he's probably going to raise his hand up.
I don't want to hear about it.
Robert just called the 100.
Rob just called.
I'd like to see Bobby see play a 360.
Mark calls 100.
With 2 limpers, it would not be at all surprised to see Bobby raise.
Bobby calls.
You're not maybe not raise, but I do like the call with the
Oh,
3-6.
absolutely. I've
No,
seen
they-
him raise
they-
several times.
The
when
site that I was using
people show that much weakness.
didn't play with them anymore.
Bobby bets 200.
Bobby flops the best hand.
I saw they had live dealers and I went, oh, it's the same people.
He might get a call from Bob.
Still
Yeah.
picking out
Newman calls.
some kind of,
Infestation.
yeah, some kind of
Very
bums
loose
out their
call
street.
there.
Every time they do it, I laugh at you.
And he's playing the king.
You didn't send it to me like
We had
about 3
faith for the
weeks
pair
ago.
of threes, but they just didn't come through, and Bobby's going to bet into trouble.
Bobby bets 700.
Because it was like
Call by
like,
Newman.
all of a sudden I got a text from you and it's
But they did it so often, I'm like, all right, as soon as I see him do it again, I'm thinking,
And Ed wishing he'd have stayed in now with his 2-4.
they're so bored and deprived, dude. I can't even stand listening to him. I turn the sound
Check.
off and watch TV.
Newman shows king queen for the win.
I don't understand the check on the river there by Newman. You're going to call hoping to spike your, 6-outer, and you do, and then just check it.
You're over pair. You feel semi-confident, but small prize, son. Small prize.
Bobby's going to fold most of the time to a bet anyway.
Rudy Dak first.
Marco
Uh-oh.
with a big hand.
Marco actually has a hand.
Get him to come back into the action now.
The only problem is I don't think he's going to get, unless somebody tries to steal it.
And he's in the big line, so
He's
he may
probably
get
gonna-
Ed. He may get Ed trying to
I think he might get a walk.
sneak in there, but
I think he's going to get a walk.
Walk
Oh,
away.
that's beautiful.
what'd you show?
Poor guy.
Marco
Why
shows
does everybody
queen.
always want to know that? When you're
First
showing
big
the
hand
big
Marco
wall,
gets this evening.
that
And
information,
that's his
No,
smallest
it was when
quantity.
Ed goes, Nigga Davis 42.
Rob Newman Dak first.
When everybody folded to you.
I'll try to do that again.
Well, you always short armor me, dealer. Once you get him on my spot. Thought you were a professional.
Rudy with
Thanks,
ace
Wyatt.
queen, Marco with deuces.
Did you just muck my card?
Yeah. Mucked it all.
You
Muck you too, Dan. Muck you.
Raised to 200 by Bobby.
You hear me? Hey, baby boy with the headphones on.
Let's see what
Marco calls. Rudy calls.
Rudy calls with the ace queen, Marco calls with the deuces.
You motherfucker.
And the
Watch your mucking language.
flop comes 6-6-5, 2 hearts.
You muck up this deal one more time.
That would be Brandon that does
Marco
that.
with the best hand.
Rudy bet 600.
Rudy leads out though.
Look, in Brandon's defense, he thought we were playing blackjack. That's why he was giving all the cards.
You want to double? You want to split? That's what you know, but you want to split?
Bobby folds. Marco calls.
And Marco gets counterfeited.
Marco all in.
Rudy with the best hand.
1425.
1425 for Rudy to call.
I really think the way Marco's been playing tonight, this is not that hard a call. See if Rudy can make it. And he does not.
Rudy folds.
I got confident. I put my all on it.
I figured you had air.
You know, I don't know.
That's what I put you on, but I didn't know Marco.
Marco, we don't care. You're free rolling.
I thought he had air.
Say that.
You bet into me.
you're
so let me
small.
bet.
I think no.
So what would you bet on that flop?
I bet Marco's buying.
Paul Moskowitz act first.
Rob with fours. Marco with ace queen.
Marking the cards.
Muck you.
Muck me, muck you.
Muck you.
Wasn't that open with you?
What? Right after he was dancing on the seat.
Marco bets 350. Robert calls.
Check start.
Robert checks dark.
Rob with the power check dark move.
Check and trick. Oh, another check.
diamond.
Check.
Check.
Both players check.
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 Both players check.
And Rob wins with fours.
I say I won't play.
Bobby sticking the needle in.
Cucciafello to act first.
Good button shuffle.
Nice hand around. Fast deal too.
Pass it around.
Why are you so worried about it? It's only a bigger pass.
It goes so fast. It'll be a lot faster than me.
And I can't do anything.
2 minutes, 36 seconds left in the blinds.
Rudy with ace jack.
Mark calls.
Mark calls with king 10. Suited Dan with 8-6 suited.
Suited Dan calls.
Kind of saw that.
What's black and blue?
Raised to 500 by Bobby B. Million.
Bobby raises with queen jack when a couple numbers come in. See what Rudy does.
Rudy calls.
Ace jack. He just calls out of the blind with ace jack.
All about the bracelet, right, Ed?
Mark folds. Suited Dan folds.
Six high flop.
Action on Bobby.
Suited Dan folded to 8-6 suited.
600.
600 bet by Bobby B. Million.
Bobby with the continuation bet of complete air.
But Rudy doesn't have anything,
Yeah.
so he might be able to.
Yeah.
And he
Rudy
does.
folds.
Lets it go.
Rudy made a lay down and do a locked out when Marco had the pocket deuces, got counterfeited on the turn with two pair, moved in on the river. Rudy had the big ace and folded it. And he only had like 1,400. And there was well over that in the pot.
Looks like Marco's
Max stack
just
first.
riding it out today.
Mark with ace jack, suited Dan with a suited ace 9.
Nice, put him back over.
Bobby again with jack queen.
There you go. Dan calls, Bobby folds. Ed folds. Marco folds. Marco folds. And 3 players.
Mark just checks.
Moskowitz,
the ace
Mark
jack.
Cucciafello, and Suited Dan all in for this hand.
Suited Dan flops top pair. Paul flops second
Raised
pair.
to 300 by
and
Paul
leads
Moskowitz.
out.
Suited Dan calls.
And suited Dan now has top pair and the nut flush draw, or second pair now.
Paul
Moskowitz
can't bet
bet
enough to
600.
get him off this hand.
No way.
Suited Dan calls.
Oh, and Paul doesn't slow down.
Same bet.
600 bet by Moskowitz.
Call.
Call by Suited Dan.
King 7. Nines and an ace.
Paul might have been able to get him off there if he'd have bet more. He just kept the bet.
I doubt it.
Well,
I doubt it. I think once he makes that 600 bet on the turn, no matter what he bets on the river.
I don't
Lines
know.
are 75, 150. Suited and act
He
first.
just doesn't believe him.
I'm not sure. I'm really not. Because Paul doesn't make if he makes a big bet there, Paul doesn't bet very big very often.
No, but it's the value bet on the turn. It's that same 6 that he continues on the turn to bet that you have to be fishy of.
Let's see, Rob with ace queen, Ed with ace jack, Max in the big blind with queen 9.
Ed raises to 400.
Ed with his coat on looks like he might be ready to go this hand.
Robert calls.
Rob just calls with ace queen.
300 or 400? 4 straight.
Max with the queen 9 on the big blind.
252, but
Max folds.
heads up. What up, man? Huh? Another 108.
And we might see Ed shortly.
Ed raises 600. Call by Robert. $600 bet by Robert. Call by Ed.
Yeah, not if they keep the bet. Oh,
Not with a hand like that. And with check, check, Robert turns over ace queen and realizes he probably should have bet more in the turn.
Wow.
What happened?
Ed cost himself a bet there on the river. That's for sure.
So good.
Well, I think he gave control of the hand to Robert on
Bobby
the
Dak
turn.
first.
Thought Robert might take another stab at it.
Yeah. I don't like to do that too much anymore. You just lose so much value when they check behind.
$8?
Especially when they got a hand they're going to call a bet with.
What?
Said if I catch that, I take some money out of your head.
Sounds like Puerto Rican or something.
Robert calls.
Rob getting involved with the ace 6. Now Paul
Mark calls.
with the better ace.
Just 150 remaining, right?
That's about it.
Four onions.
You got Pennsylvania?
Extra on Max Stack
Suited Dan
first.
flops bottom pair.
Check down.
Max
Checks over
with a
to
gut
Robert.
shot straight draw.
625.
And
625
Rob
is
with
bet
a
by
stone
Robert.
cold bluff. That may work.
A bluff with 2 checks in
All
front of you.
Goes down.
And feeling that your ace is pretty good.
Funny. Not like funny, ha-ha, but funny like.
Marco's paid off.
Funny, you want to join?
Yeah.
Marco's getting his.
What's he gonna do for me? Oh, look at that.
13 minutes.
He's having a big eye.
Look at the head on that bottle.
How was it?
Keep coming back
You're
every
walking out
year.
of the room.
It's not like you don't choose to come back every year.
Ed to act first.
Calls one.
Robert calls 150.
Raises 525.
Mark raising
Mark
the
raises to
deuces.
525.
Yep.
And takes it down. Good bet by Mark there.
Marco to act first.
Marco with queen 9 off.
Dan with a king queen off,
Paul
and
with 6s.
Bobby with 4s.
325.
Moskowitz raises to 325.
I definitely like to see Paul coming out aggressive.
Suited Dan calls.
Made 325.
Dan calls with king queen off.
But I think no matter what, Dan's always going to try and get involved in hands with him.
Oh, absolutely.
E-million calls.
Bobby hoping he can.
And Ed with a
spike
jack
set.
deuce is probably just going to get out of the way.
Did you say all in, Ed?
Coach Swear heard it too.
I thought I heard all in too.
No, is it all in? I heard Marco said that a few minutes ago. I've never gone all in that tonight.
You should have heard.
Robert.
You have.
You have both here at the table.
Let's see Paul lead out here with this.
By office, you mean pants. 800 is not
800 bet by Paul Moskowitz.
bad. Wizard out there, gonna get one right. Wizard.
Oh my goodness.
Bobby's gonna take it out.
Paul keeps command of
Paul
the
wins the
hand.
pot.
Oh man, you guys are bad.
Where's the children? Are the children out of the room?
They're watching the live stream.
Smart kid.
What are you talking about? I just caught it.
How do you take him by this far? He's killing people.
Tiny.
I'm chasing Bracelet. Oh, really good.
Rob with the ace queen.
Bobby with pocket
Rudy
fives.
calls 150.
Raised to 11.
Raised to
Rudy.
1100 by Robert.
What are the blinds?
75, 150.
75, 150 to 1100 seems to be
Quite excessive.
a little over 9 times, I believe.
Did you say all in,
No,
Ed?
not quite 9 times. I'm sorry.
That just screams I don't want to play a hand.
1100 total.
Oh, it's me.
Robert says, I'll take my blinds and go home.
He had aces, man. He does. Have you seen the rest of the show? Yeah, I've seen some. Well, I don't know. He didn't stand up, so it's probably like aces. Probably like ace, king of spades. Ace.
Robert tagged first.
Nice bet. Yes, sir. Mr. Moskowitz.
Not too much going on here. Anybody raises it up should take it down.
That much money back?
No.
No. Give it to Marco.
Yeah, just give it to Marco. You know what, sir?
I don't know what. I don't know what.
Fold to a small blind. Marco calls.
Heads up.
Rudy checks his option. Marco checked.
Rudy flops the 9.
250 bet by Rudy takes it down.
Shows a 9.
If it's just Robert, it's cash, he's gonna get my money.
Yeah,
It was good. I'm not putting a blind in there. I'm free rolling.
Just trying to start a trend.
Next week, the buy-in's optional.
Yeah, that's enough.
It's always optional.
Moskowitz act first. Folds.
Max with pocket 10s here.
Max a million.
I think he'll raise it up and
5 straight guys.
Max raises to 500.
probably take it down.
Takes it down.
We need to not tell you the shoe, haven't you?
We're good. We're leaving the $2. I remember I got like 2 free hot dogs in one day.
Oh, watch it.
Is that big ball in
Mark Cutifrello to act first.
See, there you go.
All right,
Call it out.
Welcome to the group. That's the code word to have you go in the bathroom with them.
No, see, you just gotta take it to the next level. It has nothing to do with that.
See Max with a suit at 810.
Dan calls.
Cover girl. That's all I got. That's all I got to say. If anything goes bad, you just say cover thing. It focuses everything.
And to have you sit next to me.
Ed calls.
Ed calls with the King 6 suited.
Marco calls.
Marco has Jack 8.
Rudy calls. Robert calls.
So Dan's begun the Lincoln parade here, and got everybody involved with it.
It's one thing to think that
Ed flops top pair. Rob flops an open-ended straight draw.
Just wait in line.
6 players.
You got
Marco turns very
I should get them all.
Well, they said you 3 times.
300.
Ed bets 300.
All in.
Marco all in.
Now Ed wants
24,
to bet.
25. 24, 25 and all in.
I'm on a free roll.
Literally.
Free bet. Free roll.
Rob thinking about calling with the open-ended straight.
Sure.
Good wrong. Come on.
Muck.
Which
River.
yeah,
Muck.
absolutely not good.
Please.
Ooh. Everybody hits the limits up there. You can't help
You
it.
guys can read me so bad, PJ.
The hand. If I rat it fast enough, it'll show it. And I try to muck it out of the show.
What was
I don't even mean to. It's just like you put it face down.
What was the river?
I can't
Did you see
see
it?
it. It was a 10 of clubs.
Oh, maybe 2.
5 minutes, 8 seconds left in the blinds.
10 8? It wasn't. It was 9. But thanks.
Oh, I do have 10 8 though.
Well, yeah, you
Just
just
that free info. See it?
10 8.
10 ace?
What?
What?
Max first, buddy. Muck, stand, clock.
3 aces out here, but none of them very strong.
Rudy with the Jack King.
what I do to you?
You unfriended me.
I did not. Go check.
Use your teeth.
He told me you like one.
Ed calls. Marco calls.
I deleted my Facebook.
Rudy announces a raise.
Marco limps in, Rudy raises. Marco limps in with the 10.
Raise to 625 by Rudy.
I don't know. I feel like it's a waste of time. Like, I find myself just sitting there looking at it and like, what exactly is
Mark
it?
also has a
Let's go
10
for the
8.
Raise
I don't always never
625.
Then unfriend them.
But then I'll feel like, ooh,
All players hold.
real time. Everybody else is just like, I knew you once. I ran into you at the
Everyone
store.
has a small service.
Rudy takes it down with a raise there.
I ended up walking the halls of the high school with him. And I never did the damn word.
Oh, I understand that, but I mean, either way, I don't even care if it's my girlfriend. I don't know. It's just like useless information.
Sure, listen to what anybody.
I just felt
Suited
so-
Dan
so-
Max first.
So much better when I didn't have one. Like when everybody had one and I didn't have one, I was like, just whatever. You know? Whatever. But then when I got one, it was just like, silly.
Suited with the 6-7 suited.
Taylor, what's your volume?
Should take command of his hand.
Oh, Rob with
Raise
queens.
to 4.
Suited Dan raised to 400.
Alright, it down.
Raise to 8.
Re-raised to 800 by Robert Newman.
Robert with a min raise.
He may get a call here for a min raise.
Call 800 by Suited Dan. Suited Dan to act first.
And suited flops a pair here.
Robert raises to 1200.
Second pair. These are the kind of hands that get suited in trouble a lot.
Suited
Somebody
folds.
lets it go.
Good lay down.
I mean, he's barely getting 2-1 on his money.
Well, sometimes he just refuses to believe anybody could have top pair or an over pair. He calls a lot with second pair. Gets him in trouble
I don't
quite
know. I
often.
just heard them getting loud, man. It's like old school. Maybe it's
B million to act first.
Keep your mouth shut, deal with
Hey, Sue, not Brandon.
Max with an ace 10, Rudy with an ace
You
queen.
ran your Facebook.
And Rob with the king queen.
Wow, that's the first time Dan told me. Great.
Rudy races 625.
It's not like he's 17.
Rob lets his king queen go.
Whoa.
I think Max will call. Yeah.
Max calls 625. Suit Dan fold.
Mark. That was a close.
Two players, Max stack first.
It was Moira. I did that before? Yes.
Nobody flops anything.
Max checks.
Rudy will bet that he's checked two here, though.
750 now.
750 bet by Rudy.
It never comes out in order. 1 minute, guys.
Sure.
Max
calls.
makes the call.
He better, I hope he doesn't catch an ace.
Definitely hoping for a 10-U.
Bitch, don't
1,000.
1,000 bet by Rudy.
It's one of those hands you just have to.
Max folds.
It's either give up or move in.
Absolutely.
No.
No.
You just made me
Take control somehow.
I think if he
Head
had
deck
known
first.
what Rudy had, he would have done that.
Well, no, yeah.
Last hand. Next hand is going to be a
Dude, you're like Eminem.
8 mile.
It's really hard to pull that trigger for all your chips on a stone cold bluff.
Correct.
Marco with queens here.
See if he gets paid off this time. Ed with a less than 1% chance of winning.
Bust capillaries with it now.
Marco races to 600.
Very aggressive $600.
The only person I see calling him maybe was Rob with ace rag.
I'm free rolling.
Free rolling.
Folds around.
Marco not hesitant to take blinds.
Winning the very minimum again with his queens.
A whole
Marco
lot
to
better
act
than
first.
losing.
Sorry, Tony.
Yeah, that was full up.
You forget to go to the bank one time.
Time drove it to the person that is.
There's probably banks around here.
Nope. There's no bank.
Nope.
I'll go to the bank of Bobby.
He had his buy-in, and then he snapped it.
Max with an ace queen.
Not a lot of action coming from anybody else.
No, I did not. That's not right. It's a pedophile shop. That's a right.
I wouldn't have a buy-in on that buy something.
Should fold around to Max. He should raise it up and take it down.
Raised to 500 by Max.
Come up.
That is incorrect.
I'm free to say whatever I want on my table.
You are.
I saw the empty in your car when I parked by you.
Oh no. I opened my door and like 18 beer cans popped out. I tried to collect them. Oh my. Jay, you have to take this.
No. He was just taking those to the recycling. I gotta take the rest of these. I just found still a few pounds of aluminum sheet.
Oh my goodness.
He was out all
Rudy
night.
deck first.
Let me get my pants on. What happened when you say so?
I think Bobby will raise it up here on the button with ace 6.
5 straight.
Raise to 500 by Bobby.
Might get a call from Marco with jack 7.
Heads up.
Yeah.
Let's see how position works out for him.
Marco's flop 2 pair or top pair most
Marco
of
checks.
the time.
There's 2 pair for Bobby.
Marco flops absolutely nothing. No pair, no draw.
800 bet by Bobby. Marco folds.
Chasing away all flushes.
I think Bobby would have liked to check there, but the 3 spades, he's got to bet 2 pair.
Because, like, remember when you had the iPad? I did it, but I was so busy to figure it out. But, like, I was just thinking
14 minutes, 45 seconds left in the blinds. Robert tagged first.
Well, I've been trying not to use electronics or anything like even though it's yeah,
Max with kings, suited Dan with jacks. I think we're going to get a big bet.
information from
Check it out if you want.
Raise to 5.
Raise to 500 by Max.
I think Dan might re-raise.
Re-raise.
12.
1200 by suited Dan.
Suited Dan 3 bets. Let's see if Max 4 bets here with the kings or just smooth calls.
I'd like to see him raise here. He has to demonstrate that he has a big hand and isn't afraid to play it.
700 for Max to call.
See if he tries to get tricky and just smooths calls here. I think with this much acting and a raise,
I think he throws it back up.
Re-raise to 2,500.
I think Dan might be able to get away from it. With that much delay and then a
Next
raise.
makes kind of a string out there.
He announced raise though, didn't he?
Yeah, but he rejects
Discrepancy. Dan just calls.
And the ace could slow both of them
Action
down
on
here.
Max.
all in.
Max is all in.
38.
Hoping and praying that Dan doesn't have an ace.
If you have the ace, come and get it.
36. Just keeps. What is it?
35.
You can find out that information for a lot less.
Suited Dan folds.
Because the only thing that calls you there just has you killed. Because if Dan's got an ace, he's never folded.
Well, you could fold ace weak kicker there.
Well, he's
With
never
with a
called.
4-bet, I think pre-flop, I think
Moskowitz
Dan
stacked
could
first.
call or fold an ace with a weaker kicker.
Well, but I'm just saying Dan's not going to re-raise and pre-flop and then call the re-raise with an ace weak kicker.
Keys it, 3/4 point. Nothing but net.
The only thing that makes that number is happy Dan.
Mark with an ace jack.
Max with an ace 10 suited.
Bobby with a 10 jack.
Makes it better for me
I'll go
too.
watch and see if they do it on ESPN.
Oh, that's
It is, I mean, it's a great.
Raise to 525.
Mark raises to 525.
We go now and down by
All
three.
Max calls.
Well, if you call me up to you, say he did autism,
Bobby thinking about
You know that
something.
ad dealer?
I'll be very lucky he didn't see a flop there.
Yeah, it's just.
Both his jack and his 10 are dominated by an ace.
You'll have to watch the tape.
Jack, 10s, 9s, 8.
You'll have to watch the tape.
Okay. Watch the tape, watch the tape. Wait, there is no tape, stupid. Yeah, what happened to our game?
Little do our players know, we'll be putting a VHS out. in the
We
first
stopped that
quarter
after
of
game
next
2,
year.
I think. Season 2.
And Mark gets
We
very
stopped airing
unlucky
because
again
somebody
here.
decently
Max
exposed
flopping
to
bottom
the
pair,
call.
but the best hand.
Actually, I sold the rights to MTV.
Does that mean somebody will end up pregnant?
It was a true
What? It was a weak moment in your
costume
life.
malfunction. And a small one.
Exactly.
Mac
Next
makes the
calls.
call with second pair. And Mark gets there with the straight and the nut flush draw.
The royal flush draw, actually.
Action on Mark.
See if we can get there.
Bobby shoot tonight?
Depends.
Mark checks.
Mark checks. Both players check.
No dice, but 4 clubs out there definitely should shut Max down.
I would like to see a check here by Mark, actually, to see if Max will bluff at it. I don't like slow playing often, but when you got the stone cold nuts, trying to get somebody to bet at you.
If only he had the stone cold nuts.
Oh,
Mark
does.
all in.
He does.
Oh,
Max
Jack
folds.
9 is okay.
Good call, Paul.
Almost the stone cold nuts.
There you go.
You have ace jack with the ace of clubs?
I brought my bracelet today if you want to see it, by the way.
No, I've never seen it. Never want to see it.
That you beat Max.
Yeah, ace jack.
How long were you hold that for? Like 2 minutes? Since the last time?
Are you talking?
Mark Jack first.
I don't even
Shouldn't
acknowledge your
Why?
presence. Yeah, that's probably going to. I figured you might have been. You're a net loss.
Should have been like 1,000.
That's what I originally reached for.
Max with a Jack King.
Yeah.
race here.
Let's go, I mean, it's just hard for him to call. The king of clubs, it's hard for him to call. They're not the king, the king is out there. What was it, Jack of clubs?
I mean, when you black called me, I thought you had like 70. I was going to do 20 minutes.
Yeah, if you would
But
have
yeah, I would-
I would have
I really just want to club big time. I'm going to get paid on.
Paul with ace king, Mark with 10s.
Don't forget about Max with deuces.
Oh, wow. Rob with king 10 of clubs, too.
They're trying to get him to
Well, the check and then he has opportunity to blow. Like when you do that, he has to have like the jack of clubs and the call.
raise to 800.
Rob on the raising with king 10 and is absolutely crushed.
Oh, 800.
We do see
Call
Rob
800 by
raise a
Paul.
lot with
Last
the
whips.
whip stand.
Free roll.
Free ball.
I think he's wearing 2 watches today.
I'd love to see Mark re-raise.
7 minutes left. Oh! Mark calls 800.
I would have loved to see
Paul,
him
you
re-raise.
Marco enjoying himself.
Wow. Check.
Robert bet 600. Oh, 1600.
Paul letting go of ace king.
How much behind it?
45.
Oh!
45 more.
Action on Moskowitz.
Hope that
Hold it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep.
45.
Mark about a 90% favorite in his
45,
hand.
25.
Because he didn't re-raise or lead out. He's just given up so much. Yeah.
Oh.
He folds by far the best hand.
Robert pushes that bluff out.
You can tell Mark's not watching very many of these episodes.
I would have went,
So much. Especially when there's makes
We'll talk about this.
Suited Dan Dash
just
first.
don't get sometimes.
school's in session after this.
There, I like the bet though. They're going to check it to you. You got to try and protect there.
This is good mistakes back to back.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Dan had me there.
That's not really a big mistake, though. That's not really. I mean, you can even say it's a mistake.
If I throw you off your game,
Raised to 600 by Ed Wurgler.
Wait, yeah, but then he called 800.
Wait, suited dance throws an action through you off.
There, I think we're seeing Mark playing for points.
He's not calling him a monster. Out of position.
I think in a regular tournament there, he probably re-raises the towns
Yeah, I respect that trade.
Followed immediately by.
and maybe even calls the bet on the flop.
Folds over and takes it down.
Isn't this suit? Don't like marker. Like real slow.
4 minutes, 53 seconds left in the blinds.
Get out, Marker.
I'll watch the tape. $8.
With an 8-6 here.
Not a whole lot. Bobby doesn't play the nice waves out of position very often. It's just a hand that gets you in so much trouble, it's not worth it.
Could be why he's currently in first place.
Paul calls 200.
I made a mistake.
Max calls 200.
I met a creature. Looks like it has a piece, but it's not.
Paul flops top two. Suited Dan flops second pair.
Paul bets 300.
Right there, Rob?
Some trained creature.
Paul always seems to
Suited
know
Dan
how
calls.
much to bet to price Dan in.
That's a good one. With Tim Allen.
Once again, that's where Dan he calls the second pair.
Careful.
Paul bets 600.
He repeats everything. That's great.
It's stupid, but it's mine too. Hard to repeat with the computer.
Suited calls.
Survey says.
Got scared.
Oh, come on.
First two
Oh!
pair.
Oh, what are we saying, Max?
What are we scared of there?
What are we saying again?
Yeah, why wouldn't he be scared of the flush?
Get it next time.
I'm sure he was suited. I'm sure he would check the flush.
Oh, I thought it meant he wears a shirt and tie. Oh, I didn't understand about
Ed Dak first.
You're going to be busy on your blog tonight.
That's going on my blog.
Blog.
Bet for value on the river.
The
Frank with
same
ace-6, Marco with deuce.
building.
It's a bet for value.
Paul with a
And
3-4
bigger numbers.
suited connector.
/female because it's one of those blogs that are free.
Marco.
Everybody's is bet for value.
Suited Dan might play this one.
There's a key. He's good at the
Suited
shot.
Dan,
Yeah, oh no.
Suited Dan calls.
Female doesn't chop mine.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Bobby checks his options.
It's in my blog. It is, to be honest.
I mean, who didn't like the three-breasted women in Total Recall? I mean, come on. They did it again.
Dan with a
I know, they did.
Bobby with
Bobby bet 200. Suited Dan folds.
In the remake, they should make 4.
Oh, they
Or just somebody
no,
all
no,
around.
no, they should have made it 3 and then she should have looked up her shirt for like a 4th. That would have been funny, right?
Don't chop with those cash game players, they get pissed.
But you know what else?
That's why you get 4 calls and you bet
You
that.
know what else?
About 5 minutes of break.
Is when you're the guy running to the button and like the whole table.
Have we made it to
folded.
break yet without losing somebody?
So,
Oh, I know.
make it all
But
the
it
way
makes
to
no
break
sense
with
to
all of
look
our
at.
players.
I always raise, but I mean, it's funny to make them mad. 6. I think the no
Raised
chop
to
thing
600 by Robert.
Rob raises with the 10-9 suited out of position.
Unsuited, actually.
Oh, well,
Suited
suited.
calls.
Suited has a 7-8 suited.
You have to run the razor rather than rough route. So.
Well, right. That's why I'm saying
I mean, it's, I'll
1 minute till break.
sometimes if other people have one in front of me. But if it's folded around to me,
5, 6, 7,
12.
Okay.
12
suited flop to
Well, it's
flush.
not exactly
Suited
what I'm doing.
all in with 2,000.
I'm in position. So even
We
if
might
even
not
if the
see
blind
a
calls
straight
me,
flush.
I'm in position, I can
Can it come? That straight flush
so many
come?
boards and take it off. Oh, you leave it hanging?
Last hand, guys. More break.
One more hand before break, folks.
Nice
Dan with the blow up.
What did you flop? I didn't see it.
With a straight flush draw.
Why'd you bet it?
Straight flush.
Oh,
I'm kidding. Because there's a small spot. Why? I'm fine, man.
Rudy to act first.
log in.
Last night, guys.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Max with
I'm gonna
an
make
ace
everybody
king,
think they're making
Mark with an ace
sense. Put it on my blog.
six. Rudy
Hang it
had
on
an
my
ace
blog.
and he folded
See if
it.
we can catch, get Max to catch somebody trying to steal.
I think Max will
Pause
raise
that,
it up
Tony.
here. There you go, mess with
Yeah,
it.
it's on break. It's on break.
Oh,
He should raise it up and take it here.
Thanks, man. So he's always throwing them in
Until
the
you
rough.
stop splashing.
Max raised to 500.
do whatever you want. Raise to 5.
I have 200.
Muck. Muck.
I'm so
And
nice.
that's it.
Every single time
Max
I
walks with the raise of ace king.
Max takes it down.